Empowered. I'm your host, Jessica Flynn of thejessicaflynn.com, and our show is on a mission to unleash local wisdom for widespread impact. We're committed to making a positive change and to empowering the people in our community as well as the rest of the world from wherever you're watching. Joining us today is someone at the forefront of innovation in the self-care and wellness space. Daniel James is the CEO and co-founder of Vortex Wellness Studio in Collingwood. Daniel was born and raised in Collingwood and earned a degree in drama from the University of Guelph, where I also studied theater, and went on to follow his love of the stage, of singing and songwriting, as well as self-development, taking him to cities like Toronto, LA, and Nashville. Daniel is an accomplished actor, singer-songwriter, graphic and web designer, as well as a yoga and meditation instructor, and he has brought all of that back to his hometown of Collingwood to start and create an innovative, state-of-the-art wellness destination alongside his husband, Steve. With a passion for personal development and a mission to connect others with their full potential, Vortex is a natural expansion of Daniel's journey, and to share that journey with us is Daniel. Welcome.
Hello, Jess. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. It's a hop, skip, and the jump from the studio to Vortex.
3-minute drive. It was great.
Perfect. And we're so glad that you're able to come and not only talk to us about what's happening in the studio, but what was happening in your life leading up to founding such an innovative wellness space. And what is your approach? Tell us a little bit about your approach to self-care.
Well, where do I start? Firstly, that intro was great. I feel very impressed by myself. Thank you for
are
that.
very impressive. And we both studied at the University
I
of
know.
Guelph. So when you did it, it was called drama. And
I was the last year
it
of drama,
switched to
and then
theater.
so it's
samesies.
wild. We were there
Yeah.
at the same time, but didn't know each other then.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So that's where my journey to self-development really did start as an actor. As you know, you do have to dive into yourself to figure out roles, figure out who you want to be, firstly. And that journey just, of self-development kind of expanded into music, it expanded into other creative aspects. And ultimately, where my love of self-care came, it was just kind of, self-care and personal development for me are one and the same. I've always been obsessed with like personal development books, always diving in to make myself a better person. And I'm not really sure where or when that started, but I was, I feel like the only fiction books I've ever read is like Harry Potter. The rest were all like The Secret or Michael Singer, The Untethered Soul, or Oprah's Book Club, or like things that were really getting you to dive in.
To, growing and
Absolutely.
developing.
Yeah, personal growth is luckily for me now, is a really big market.
Yeah.
But at the time, I just really was always obsessed with like leveling up, whether it was taking like a speed reading course or a mega memory course, or I think I just always really wanted to be superhuman somehow.
Which you are. Yeah,
well, I'm working on it.
Yeah. You do CrossFit, so anyone to me who does CrossFit is also
I
somewhat superhuman.
I would say after a year now of doing it, yeah, it is a level up for sure. Right. And fitness is a big part of self-care and wellness for me as well. And that honestly just came very naturally. As you mentioned, I did study yoga and really veered more towards the meditative side of it versus the physical practice. So I really loved teaching meditation for years. And it was a very transformative time for me. I worked at a yoga studio, I managed a yoga studio, and meeting all of these other humans who were coming every day to like level up and make themselves a better person. It just really like lit me up. And I really like inspiring people. It's always been a default thing for me to like see the best in people and see their highest potential. And so, you gotta walk the walk. Like if you're going to be that kind of person in the world. Yeah. And so I like to be a light for people. I like to turn on the lights of other people. And it is a very natural thing for me. So turning my life into a wellness studio, which wasn't even a thing at the time. My husband and I lived in California for 4 years before moving back to Collingwood. As you mentioned, I was born and raised here. I honestly really never thought I would live in Collingwood again. But in 2020, the year that nothing happened,
Oh, yeah, nothing
nothing happened in that
yeah.
year. We actually bought a house in January, moved back across the border the week they closed the border, and then lockdown for 2 years was like, what are we going to do with our lives? I knew I didn't want to go back to hustling for auditions 6 times a week. My acting career had taken off, but then I realized like I actually don't want to do 8 shows a week in musicals. Like, so as I would reach sort of a pinnacle of parts of my life and career, it was always about that leveling
check off those
up.
boxes to know, like, I can do it.
Yeah.
This is what I thought I wanted. And then, oh, is this actually what I want?
And that is personal
this
development.
self-care?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yeah.
personal development. You literally just level up constantly. So when we were down there, my husband was studying naturopathic medicine, and he worked at a clinic that was very like high tech, high performance sports recovery. IV drip, stuff like that. So a little more medical, clinical kind of thing. But when we were living in San Diego, and we oddly saw this parallel between San Diego and Collingwood, and how there's this 4-season active community of people who are really wellness focused. And growing up here, was a shipbuilding town when I was here, and now it's a wellness town. I don't care what anybody says. Like it's recreation, it's sports, it's wellness, it's hiking, it's everything, right? So it's become a wellness hub, and 2 years ago we opened our business here in this town, and it's only flourished since then of seeing other more yoga studios, more cold plunge, and more sauna, more different
more of like a
modalities.
holistic environment as opposed to that one gym or that
Exactly.
one studio.
Yeah.
Now there's a little bit more for everyone.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into kind of some of the science that Vortex, your wellness studio, has tapped into. But looking at where wellness and self-care trends are going, why is it important that we're kind of leaving what we thought or that traditional approach to wellness? What's going on in the world? Like, why is it more important now than ever to be doing things a little bit differently?
Great question, loaded question. And I think the
All
best
of my questions are giant. Yeah, that's my style.
That's why you have a TV show. Ultimately, like, let's be real. On a good day, the world's a little bit of a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Like, we're all constantly just trying to survive, and I think it's time that people want to thrive.
Right.
And instead of this idea that we're just constantly trudging through on like low battery mode personally, like how do we transform our lives? How do we do it quickly? How do we do it consistently? That's the big thing, right? And so I think what's changing, what we want to change, what is a personal mission for me, is making people understand that self-care isn't selfish. There's this idea that you taking time for yourself is somehow a luxury, but like this is the only life we get. This is the only body we get. The life that we have and the people that we impact, they're more positively impacted if we have our life together, right? If our energy's good, if our nervous system is regulated, if we feel happy, that emanates out. That's scientifically proven, but you don't even need the science. You can feel it. You can feel your relationships change when you have your life together, when you have your energy together, right?
Yeah.
And so traditionally you'd see people, it's like spa culture. That's not going anywhere. And we're certainly not
We
trying
all
to
still
change
love
that.
the spa, yeah.
We love a massage.
Yeah.
We love spending 6.5 hours at the spa. Like that's
Twice
the thing.
a year.
But like,
Yeah.
let's be real. Ain't nobody got time for that. Like
Yeah.
it's a time situation. It's an energy situation. It's also like a privacy situation. And so what we've created is a space where you can hop in for 10 to 60 minutes with various sessions that are all science-backed. It's science-backed self-care. So it's high tech, it's easy, it's fast, and it's more importantly, it's fun. And that's where I really wanted to hit on this idea of creating a culture that's vibrant instead of like clinical and medical. And that's fun versus something that feels like arduous or, oh, I've got my appointment. It's like you should be looking forward to taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And what I've seen is as people show up consistently for themselves, their lives change so drastically and easily because it really just is about telling your body, telling your mind, telling your spirit that you're worth it. And as you continue to show up for that, there's a physiological response that happens, and therefore your energy changes. And as I said, that creates this vortex of energy.
Even though the studio is doing all sorts of science-backed services, there is that overall, even just being there and showing up, making the appointment, and whether it's Vortex or anywhere, the studio, the gym, a walk in nature.
Yes, totally.
That is sending a message saying you're okay.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, there's a reason people feel like, have you ever felt worse after a walk in nature? Have you ever
think so.
felt worse after taking a deep breath? Have you
Right.
ever felt worse after journaling or doing yoga? I mean, yoga's tricky if you hurt yourself or it was a
Right.
hard class or something. But all of these things where you're just going inward, where you're taking a beat, like there's 24 hours in a day. And you know, I'm 39 now, and I just remember, like, I miss being bored. You know, I miss, you know, watching.
We don't let ourselves
No,
get
we don't
bored
let
anymore,
ourselves be
right?
bored. Now, I'm guilty of this too. You'll just grab your phone. You're always looking for something to do, or you're
Fill
looking
the
something
calendar.
up. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Over-programming ourselves. And that's fine, obviously. The world and technology and life in general is progressing at a breakneck speed. But what we need to do is, in my opinion, is at least take like 5-10 minutes. An hour's great, but just time, anytime. Just go inward and say, like, what do I need? Is there something I can do for myself? And it's that old adage of, like, if you go on an airplane, what do they tell you during the safety video is put in your own oxygen mask first before
Right.
you help someone else.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to pass out and you can't help the other person.
Yeah.
And I really do believe that's a perfect analogy for self-care. Like, the phone is another good example. We get that alert and it says low battery mode. And we're like, okay, and we just keep going.
Right.
But we do that with ourselves too, right?
Right.
We say, oh, my energy's low. Low power mode. Keep going until
Right.
the battery's dead.
Yeah.
And
Until
then,
something happens drastically with your health, or migraines are starting to kick
Exactly.
in. Your body will literally tell you
yes.
no.
Yeah, it'll tell you no, and it tells you a lot of things. I think that's why it's so important to just take those beats, take those breaths, take the hour, take the 10 minutes, whatever it is,
Yeah.
to just see what is your body telling you. Like, a headache isn't always a pop and Advil situation. It could be a deep
Right.
breath in a glass of water, like, did you hydrate today, you know?
Right.
And I think if people just have those moments of connection with themselves, self-connection is self-care. Having that internal dialogue, those internal feelings, like, that is so important, and I think it's super underrated too.
And I love that your perspectives of starting the studio are so multifaceted, because you've had several different careers, and Steve's career was in like the sciences, yours was in the arts and performance. And no matter what we're doing, and you're both into CrossFit and athletes, no matter what we're doing, that battery is going to drain, whether
Yeah.
it's an intellectual exercise, a scheduling thing. So that Vortex is really a place that services all sorts of different people.
Yeah, and that's what I love, honestly. Like, we have all the same sessions, and we'll have, you know, a stay-at-home mom who's tired from like 3 babies at home,
Right.
in the next pod away from a CrossFitter or a first responder or firefighter. Like, it's all the same thing, but wellness through whatever lens you're looking at.
Right.
And everybody needs it, right?
Stress is stress, no matter
Stress
where
is
you're
stress,
getting it
and
from.
stress
Right.
causes everything. It's like the cause of like 99.9% of illness, right?
Yeah.
So if we can like dial that down a bit, or ideally remove it from your
Right.
life, the future is a lot brighter, right? And we know what that feels like.
Yeah.
So again, you get back to that self-connection. If you feel off, there is something you can do about it. And again, like, of course there's external circumstances that affect our lives, of course. But,
Yeah.
if you charge that battery, you're able to deal with them a lot easier than if you're fully drained. And as you pointed out, that could be from something physical like exercise. It could also be from a relationship. It could be
Yeah.
from work. It could be, we get depleted on many levels, right?
Amazing.
And-
So after the break, we're going to go in and talk about some of the science that's actually in the studio that's helping us de-stress and check this self-care box off.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to Empowered with Jessica Flynn. Today we are chatting with Daniel James, the CEO and co-founder of Vortex Wellness Studio here in Collingwood, Ontario. We are having a great conversation about self-care in general, and that self-care is not selfish, but completely necessary to pursue our goals and, you know, to honor ourselves as...
And to stay sane in this world.
Yeah. In this ever chaotic, crazy world.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit? So you told us the story of when you and your husband decided to come back to your hometown of Collingwood. You decided it was going to be a wellness studio based in some of what you saw in California. What was the startup process like? And first of all, actually, if we could start, what does Vortex mean to you in that environment?
Yeah, no, that is a good question. I've always been obsessed with energy vortexes. They are around the world. There's areas where ley lines pass, whether it's rivers under the water or whether there's just like an energy force, like the Great Pyramids of Egypt, Haleakala, a volcano in Hawaii, Sedona, Arizona, Joshua Tree, California. There's these different places where if you're sensitive to energy, you can actually feel the difference. In Sedona, for example, there's certain energy vortexes on red rocks where the trees actually will grow in a spiral because the force of the energy in the planet is so strong that it actually twists the way that the plants grow. So point being, it's energies that come together create an energy vortex. Okay. So because we all have all these energy-based and tech-based self-care sessions, all of them coming together, we're creating our own little vortex. And more than that, it's just, it is an energy vortex where we are. We literally pull in all these amazing people. Like we have so much synchronicity and alignment and really cool experiences that people have with us.
To the point where I had to start a show to just talk to everybody about all the incredible things that are going on. That really is, there is so much local wisdom to unleash and share with the rest of the world. And probably, you know, not just our ski resort at Blue Mountain, but this energy that draws in tourism and people to the area. That
Collingwood's very special. The Southern Georgian Bay is very special. There's feels like there is this bubble of energy around us where, you know, my generation is certainly like moving back here. The people who have been here a long time, my family and others, they know there's something special here. The mountain, the water, the nature, it's so diverse and so beautiful. And so from a natural and nature perspective, there's that. But then there's just also this feeling and this wellness that's happening around here. And I think people like really tap into that. And to your point about like why start a wellness studio here, that kind of thing. Traditionally in business, you do market research. You see the niche in an area. We just did it because we wanted to. Like it's and as crazy as that sounds, to like spend all your time, money, and energy creating a business that you don't really know if it'll work. It was a lot of it was based on intuition, if I'm being honest. There was this really big in my journey of personal development. I had this big surrender moment in California where I thought like, what do you want me to do, universe? Like I'm ready, I'm open, because I'd had so many careers and sort of followed everything to like 85% and felt like maybe this isn't it. All those things have come together to help me create what is a very impressive, if I may say so, business.
We're going to show some of the photos. It's so impressive.
And it's everything that I've done in my life has come together and helped me with this. And so, and I'm still learning a lot as an entrepreneur, for sure, as a CEO, as
and
a
you
manager.
Always will. That will never
always,
stop.
Yeah.
I think to be an entrepreneur, you have to be dedicated to constant self-development and growth.
Yeah.
But also the self-care in entrepreneurship is, you know, there's maybe not health benefits. You are sometimes the breadwinner of your family. And if that ship goes down, a whole slew of other things happen. So self-care is so important.
Yeah, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, right?
Ooh, I like that. That's another
I definitely did not come up with that, but yeah, I think the idea of when we decided to have a place where you could come as like a little mini retreat, and we had this idea of like, let's bring all this cool wellness technology under one roof so people could create their own little wellness circuit that they could. I always tell people, because it can be a little overwhelming what we have, especially as people are new to wellness in general, but also wellness technology. But I always say, like, imagine this is like a weird, wonderful wellness wonderland, and it's a theme park, and they've got all these rides. Like, which one do you want to go on first? People are naturally drawn to certain sessions, certain ideas of the place, and they start there and they feel really good. Everybody leaves feeling lighter, which is why I love my job. Like, whether it's the technology or our space or a conversation with us, it doesn't matter. People leave lighter, and I couldn't ask for a better day-to-day aspect of my life. We've had thousands of people in the door, and there's been like one grumpy person. So
and you've
like,
been
there's
open
something
for
special.
2 years.
2
Just
years,
over
2 years and 2 weeks. Yeah.
Wow.
And so to like, we don't get complaints. We've only had 5-star reviews. Like, and I'm not saying that to pump ourselves up. It's because there's something special happening when people take care of themselves. So we really just are a facility to facilitate that interconnection, you know?
A gorgeous facility. So let's pull up some of the photos and look, pull the curtain back behind this, you know, this wellness studio we keep talking about. And if you could teach us some of the science, and I think in the photos too, our viewers will see that like there's this gorgeous stone wall and all of these plants, and you've named all of the plants.
All the plants have names, yes.
Love that.
They're important.
So it also, like, yes, it's science, but it feels like you're being connected back into nature as well.
Idea,
and the idea behind the science is that you're almost mimicking nature with science.
Yeah. So right here you can see the Somadome. This is the world's first technology-enabled meditation pod. It provides 20-minute guided or unguided meditations. What's kind of cool about this is it uses chromotherapy, so color light therapy, in the dome itself to penetrate your eyelids, your skin. Different color frequencies affect your mood in different ways. And it uses binaural beats that you listen to that shift your state of consciousness. So you literally get in and it says, pick your intention. And that can be fitness, it can be health, it can be love, it can be manifest, whatever you want, joy. And it will shift your state of consciousness based on brainwave frequencies. Additionally, the whole base of it is lined with these microcrystalline energy tiles that actually enhance your energy field and mitigate the negative effects of funky frequencies like Wi-Fi and EMF, electrical things like that.
But all we have to do is sit in a
chair. All you
gotta
do is sit in there and listen.
And chill for, and how long is it?
20 minutes.
This is the other thing I love about your approach to wellness is that you recognize that our lives have gotten busy and that people in our community are like up to all sorts of good things. So you can stay for an hour and do a circuit, you can enjoy the lounge, or you can come in for 20 minutes.
Yeah, as long as short as you want, yeah.
The next service I have done a couple of times and I'm obsessed with. I feel like I actually float out when I leave. So can you tell us about...
Compression. The compression session is one of our most popular sessions. It was designed as an athletic therapy tool. It increases circulation, lymphatic drainage, reduces swelling, breaks up lactic acid so you get fresh legs faster. What's interesting about this is a perfect example of where we'll see like a nurse that's been on her feet all day in the pod next to like a hardcore endurance athlete.
Wow.
And that just shows you like we are all athletes. Yeah. We are all humans like doing our best and needing this kind of self-care. And it's all in different ways. So you literally put on these boosts that makes you look like an astronaut for a bit.
Yeah.
And it pulses air in different intensities, and you get to control the intensity. And it's very, very relaxing. We do have sleep technology, but this one has nothing to do with sleep, and the amount of people that totally pass out just from taking a break and just from getting that blood flow going, it's pretty spectacular.
Amazing. This one I'll speak to really quickly because I've been in this room, the red light.
Love it.
And you can either sync it up with like a Tony Robbins kind of inspirational meditation. I've done a Beyonce track.
Yeah.
So what's happening to me when I am in that red light?
So red light's pretty cool. It's a big wellness fad right now, and this is a fad that I don't think is going to go away because it's really, really good for you, and it's very quick and easy to use. So you stand between these panels. We have 12 panels in our facility, and like you don't even need that much to feel good, but it hits everywhere. In this photo, obviously, they're fully clothed. However, birthday suit is best because wherever the light hits, it helps. Now, a red light session uses red light frequencies and near infrared frequencies. So red light you can see, it is red. Near infrared you cannot see. It's not visible by the human eye. Now, those two frequencies penetrate your bodies at different depths, and they activate ATP production. So the molecules that create energy in our body, you are actually actively creating energy in your body, and you feel it. Like you can feel your body creating the heat. There's a gentle heat that happens. It's phenomenal for a mood boost, like an instant mood boost, especially if you're dancing to Beyonce.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that it's 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes because we do front and back at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal for your sleep, your hormones. It kind of hits all the boxes. It's really great.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So we only have a few minutes left, so we might go through to the final photo that you, we're going to kind of get a quick little tour of the whole studio as we do that.
Newcom here is amazing. It gives you the benefits of 20 to 40 minutes gives you 2 to 4 hours of sleep. The benefit of 2 to 4 hours of sleep.
Well, everyone's
it's magical.
Yeah.
Our infrared sauna suites are private. Again, everything at Vortex is a private wellness experience. So instead of hanging out with half-naked strangers, you get to be on your own with your own shower, your own sauna, deeply detoxifying. It's amazing.
And in the final few minutes as these wrap, what would your call to action be to our viewers? Like, you have been on a journey over the past several years through career changes, through big moves. What can people do, no matter where they are, to take care of themselves, give themselves some of that self-care?
I think this is really easy and also very challenging. And it is find what lights you up and do it more. That's it. You like when there's a lightness that is created from you. For me, it's sitting down and playing piano or guitar or singing, playing with my dog. You know, if you have a dog or a cat or an animal that you love, that is self-care. You can connect to that energy of love and connection like very, very quickly. Go for a walk in nature. Journal. You know, have a little chat session with a friend. Like something that just makes you feel lighter, and do it more. And as you feel lighter, train yourself as often as possible to be consistent with that. And I have seen so many shifts in people's lives, and I wasn't prepared for the kind of impact that we would have. But I really think, like, I always let people know, yes, we have a great facility. Yes, we're a good time to hang out. But it really comes down to I'm seeing people who are taking time for themselves on a consistent basis, and their lives are changing.
Wow.
So that's really what it comes down to. No matter what it is, it doesn't have to be coming to Vortex. It can be hanging out in a forest for a minute, walking your dog, whatever it is. But it needs to be intentional, and it needs to be for you.
And consistent, something that you enjoy so much that you want to do it more often and can do it every day. Yeah, beautiful. Well, you've built something so special for our community, everyone who comes to visit, but also just this message of you can be many different parts of yourself all at once.
Absolutely.
As long as you're taking care of the whole self. Right?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately you have to.
Yeah.
When it gets to the point that you don't have a choice, it's too late.
Right.
And it's also not too late. You can still course correct, but I think we've all had those moments of burnout or breakdown in our lives where we just like the needle kind of went over to the empty
let's
mark.
not wait
We don't have
until
to
that
wait
anymore.
It's the idea of like the check engine light in your car.
Yeah.
Like, check the engine.
Check the
Don't wait
engine.
until you break down on the side of the road. When you have that internal check engine light come on, maybe look into it.
Look into it. Take care of yourself. Thank you so much, Daniel from Vortex Wellness Studio.
My pleasure.
Every episode with us, you can expect a journey into the heart of empowerment, where the wisdom of our community, like Daniel's, transforms into a force for widespread impact. Join us next time. You can catch us on Rogers TV and my YouTube channel at The Jessica Flynn. Until then, I'll see you soon. I'm Jess.